And we are recording. Okay. Well, hi everybody. Thanks so much for being on the call. I'd like to start the program with this call so that I can give you an overview of the program, and then you have an opportunity to ask any questions that you have before we get started tomorrow. So I wanted to start by introducing myself to you. The more that I run this program, the more unfamiliar faces I have. So when I started, it was all people in my close circle, and now there's a lot of you that I don't know personally. So welcome. My name is Katie Harlan, and I'm sorry there's sun on my face here. I'm going to try to turn this way. I have been in fitness for almost 5 years now, and it started just with me trying to lose the baby weight. I had 3 kids under 3 at one time, and so after I had my 3rd child, I was really ready to focus on myself again and lose the baby weight. So I reached out to a coach that I found online, and she coached me through a 30-day online program. I felt better than I had in years, and most of that was just due to the focused guidance from having a coach. So every day I would check in with her. I had a set of guidelines that I had to adhere to, and that was huge for me. Nobody had ever told me exactly what to do before in terms of my fitness and nutrition. So that was really huge. And that simple, act of joining that program and joining a coach propelled me into a career in fitness. And that was nearly 5 years ago. Now I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of, I think we're in the thousands. We've got to be in the thousands by now. I think I've already worked with about 400 people just in this program, and that's only since 2017. So we've got to be in the thousands. Anyway, thousands of people in health and fitness, and I have 5 certifications in group fitness instruction, and I'm just a lover of learning information. So I'm always reading about nutrition and fitness and figuring out how we can make it easier on ourselves to get in the best shape of our lives, because I'm all about balance and just having an approach that you can sustain long-term, that can work with your family, that's not super extreme. Those are all things that are important to me. So that's sort of my style and how I go about doing things. So my favorite thing, though, is to teach other women about what I'm learning and what is working for me. And so that is really how this particular program was born. In January of this year, I launched the first round of this program. Back then, it was just Carb Cycling 101. And since then, I've added the intermittent fasting. And it came about because I've been working out all the time for years and years and, having really good results. But at a certain point, my body stopped responding to the workouts. And I felt like, I'm working out really pretty hard. And I'm eating well. There's no reason that I shouldn't be continuing to see more muscle tone. And so I did research on carb cycling. It was a strategy I'd heard a lot about. So I did my own research, and I found there are a lot of different approaches for carb cycling, and I didn't like any of them. So I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to weigh my food. I'm not going to track every single thing. So I abandoned it and then picked it back up. I thought, okay, I'm going to try again. I'm going to keep researching. I found an approach that I thought that I could handle. So my husband and I tried it for 3 weeks, and we felt awesome. We really dug in and stayed really focused and really did what the program asked us to do, found great results. And so I tweaked it and changed it and made it work for us. And then I brought it to the masses. And every time I run this, I get better at knowing what we need, adding different components, customizing it towards each unique group of women that I'm working with. But a few months ago, I think May or something, I added the intermittent fasting. I'd been doing intermittent fasting for, since earlier last year and loved it, but I didn't somehow see how they went together until somebody said to me, oh yeah, I've been doing those 2 things together for years. And I was like, oh, I should be showing my clients how to do this together as well. So then put the strategies together, and boom, that was like magic. My clients are seeing the best results from this combination of carb cycling and intermittent fasting, and it's so sustainable, it's so easy, and it's so beneficial for your body, not only in terms of fat loss and results, but just feeling really, really good. I honestly have to tell you guys that I have never felt so in tune with my body as far as like what foods feel good, how my workouts make me feel, how just being really clicked in to what the things I put in my body are doing for me. And I attribute that to this program. So I'm so excited to share it with you. So you should know that this program is sustainable. It's something you can do long term. But I always recommend to my clients that, anybody that's really successful in health and fitness, they do this with different strategies. So do this for a while and then take a little break, and then do this for a while and take a little break. I do that all the time. So anytime you do something for like years and years and years and you don't change it up, your body's going to stop responding to it. I do that with my workouts. I do that with my eating. I'm not saying you go off. You just take little breaks in the strategy, and you'll see what I mean as we go through the program. The program is simple, and we're going to talk through it in just a second. As far as this first week, we're going to keep it so simple. We're not going to do any food tracking. We're not going to talk about calories. We're not going to do any macros or any of that for the first week. And then I'll add those layers in if you want them. And so that really frustrates some people because they like the numbers, but I don't want to start with the numbers because those are less important than focusing on eating the right foods and eating until you're full and you're satisfied. So that's how we will begin. And a program that I stand behind has to give you other benefits other than just weight loss, because here's the deal. I have done the 21-day fix. I've done it for a long time. Anybody else have experience with that? Okay, well, the 21-day fix is a calorie deficit program, and it's gotten a lot of a lot of people amazing results. Any calorie deficit program will for a while, and then your body adapts to fewer and fewer calories, and it stops burning as many, and then you're existing on just such a small amount of calories that your body just kind of slows down. And I felt this firsthand when I did that program. I was just so hungry, and I'm eating what it tells me to, and I was just miserable. I did lose weight, but I didn't feel good, and I didn't think that was a way I was supposed to live, where I'm like hungry all the time. So this program, you should not be hungry at all, really. You are going to eat until you're full. You're not going to eat until you're stuffed. You don't want to be uncomfortable, but you're going to eat until you're satisfied every single time you eat. And we are going to talk about how many calories you really should have, and you guys are going to be floored. It's probably about 400 to 600 more than you think it should be, than you're eating at the moment, which is really exciting. So I'm going to give you guys more calories, but we'll get to that probably in week 2. I think we cover that. Okay, I'm just muting some of these audios. Okay. Let's see. And then the last thing that I focus on when creating a program and giving it to you guys is that it needs to be something that is part of your lifestyle. So it's very, we have treats in this program, and treats are important. And, we have a whole day called a flex day, which just means you can just do whatever. You don't need to worry about, carbs or fats or what macros or any of that. You just eat and you just enjoy. So we're going to make this simple and enjoyable for you. If I can do it, if this is a program that I am doing, you guys know, you'll have to know that it's simple and it's sustainable and it's something you can do long term. Okay, so let's start getting into it. I'm going to share my screen. And can you guys see the manual that says if you carb cycle? Yay! Okay, so not just the green screen, you see the manual? Awesome. Okay, let me move this. Okay, so hopefully you've had a chance to go through the manual and read it. We're just going to go through some of these things. So first of all, you guys, we're not doing the intermittent fasting this first week unless you're a repeat client and you already know how to do it and you know what you're doing with that. And the reason for that is because I want to focus on what foods you should be eating. Next week, we'll focus on when you eat those foods, and that's when we add the intermittent fasting. But I don't want to throw everything at you at once so that you can really get comfortable with one part of it first. So we'll start with the carb cycling. Don't worry about the intermittent fasting. We'll actually train on that next weekend. And it might just be a recorded video. I don't remember if it's a live training or recorded video. So I don't want you to worry about calories. I don't want you to worry about food tracking or any of that. I just want you to focus on eating the right foods. So first of all, why carb cycling? Well, carb cycling is a great way to allow you to still have carbs. You know, there are a lot of plans out there right now that are getting rid of carbs, and that does work for people. But I'm really more of a balanced approach person, where I think if you can find success without getting rid of an entire food group, that's really the best way to do it. But we'll talk about the study of one as we go through the program, which is the study of how different foods react in your body. So you might find at the end of this program that your body is more carb sensitive than someone else's, and that you do better with fewer carbs. Or you might find that you're fine on carbs, and this cycling of them works really well. But the reason we cycle is so that you can, use your fat sources for fuel instead of being a sugar burner and using muscle tissue for fuel. The sun is driving me crazy right in my face. So that's why we carb cycle. It keeps your body guessing. You're kind of always doing this instead of being down here. And it really allows you to use those carbs to help propel your workouts. So if on the high carb days, you're going to work out a little bit harder, and your body's going to burn those carbs and help you create the lean muscle and the shape that we're going for. So lose fat, not muscle, add muscle and burn fat at the same time. And it will help you improve your insulin sensitivity as well. Keeps your body guessing. We talked about that. And then it talks about insulin. It helps stabilize your insulin levels. High levels of insulin cause the body to stop burning fat. So reducing insulin is key to fat loss. So there are a lot of approaches to carb cycling. I told you guys I didn't like any of the approaches I was finding. The one that we're going to use is the most simple one that I found, and I just love it. It's just an on-off day. It's low carb, high carb, low carb, high carb, low carb, high carb, all week long until you get to your flex day. And on a flex day, you start the day with low carb, and then the rest of the day is yours to do whatever you want. Let's talk about what you're going to eat. So you're going to focus on clean foods. So do you guys are you familiar with clean eating, the idea of clean eating? I'm seeing head nods. Okay. So the idea is that you're eating foods that are minimally processed. That means, the perimeter of the store, the produce, the meats, the proteins, and stay away from those canned, boxed, processed foods that are in the center of the store. One rule of thumb that is helpful, I think, is looking at the back, and if it has 5 or fewer ingredients, then it's probably okay. So one example is like Blue corn tortilla chips. The brand that I have has like 3 or 4 ingredients or something like that. So, just check the labels and try to keep it pretty clean. So try to eat protein with every meal, including your snacks. So here are some options for protein. I probably need to update this with some more options that are vegan, because I've had some vegan clients lately. But a lot of protein is really key to building that muscle. Fats, healthy fats actually burn fat. And this is a hard thing to kind of switch over to thinking when for so many years, or in the 90s specifically, we were told that fat makes you fat, but that's just all a bunch of, BS. And healthy fats actually help you burn fat, and they're super good for your brain. So things like coconut oil. I love the Kerrygold grass-fed butter. So on my low carb days, we have higher fat. And on my low carb days, I love to, saute some mushrooms in that Kerrygold butter and add those to my eggs, or any vegetables. That's a really nice treat. olive oil, nut butters, nuts, avocados. Cheese is fine, but I don't think we get so many nutrients from cheese. It's fine, but I wouldn't count that as one of your super healthy fats. These are the really good ones. Okay, and then carbohydrates, of course. So sweet potatoes, if you can eat sweet potatoes a few times a week, you'll be doing your body a really big favor. Sweet potatoes are so, so good for you. It's like the number 1 or number 2 healthiest food you can eat. Regular potatoes are fine. Rice, quinoa, oats, black beans, and fruits. These are all the carbs. So please notice that fruits are in the carb list, which means that on your low carb day, you're really avoiding fruit. If you need a little bit of a, pick me up, if your energy's low or you feel like you need a carb, grab a handful of berries. Those have, they're low on the glycemic index, but for the most part, just try to avoid fruit on your low carb days. And then veggies. This is an exciting part because I know a lot of you who have done a low carb lifestyle, that there are certain veggies that have a lot of carbs. But on this plan, except potatoes, I'm not talking about potatoes. Potatoes go in the carb section. Except potatoes, any veggies are fine on either day because they have such a small amount of carbs and it's just gonna be okay. When we do the tracking, we'll take net carbs. So we'll do it's carbs minus fiber. And so a lot of the carb content in vegetables is really fiber. So it doesn't exactly count anyway. So don't worry about like carrots have more carbs and, things like that. Don't worry about that. Just eat all the veggies. Eat all the veggies, but keep your potatoes to higher carb day. Okay, so here are the basics for a low carb day. On low carb days, you have high fat. So the reason for that is because you get energy from carbohydrates and fat. If you take out the carbohydrates, you've got to have the fats to give you energy. Protein does not give you much energy. It's good for building muscles, but it is not a good fuel source as far as energy. So healthy fats on low carb day. If you're finding that you're super tired on a low carb day, which you will to start with, just have a tablespoon of almond butter or, peanut butter or get some healthy fats in there. Have an avocado on your salad and just notice how those healthy fats help perk you up. Eat when you're hungry and eat until you're satisfied. Okay, so this is not a calorie deficit program. You are not really cutting any calories. In fact, we're probably going to add them. You just need to eat when you're hungry and you eat until you feel full. Please don't try to deplete yourself of calories or this won't work for you. Remember that healthy fat burns fat, so don't be afraid of those fats. And don't worry about like how much. I know that's hard at first. Let's not eat 3 avocados in a day. That's a lot of fat. But an avocado on a low carb day is great. Don't eat, a whole, like a cup of butter in your veggies. That's a little excessive, but enough that you can saute your veggies. So just use, common sense and then try to keep your fruit to high carb days. Okay. High carb days. So, back to this real quick. So your low carb days are going to be the days during the week when you'll have a lower impact workout, maybe an arm workout. Upper body's good on low carb day. Yoga, Pilates are good on low carb day. Even like a light jog or a little bit of cycling. I like to do HIIT workouts on low carb days, like 20-minute HIIT workouts, just something kind of short. This is not the day to go to body pump or to do like a huge CrossFit workout. You want to keep your workouts a little bit lighter on low carb days. Or make it a rest day. Okay, high carb days. So on high carb days, you're going to have lower fat. And the reason is just for calorie expenditure, because you're going to eat more calories on high carb days in general because the carbs, you'll be eating more carbs. Here's why. The calorie content isn't different in carbs. It's 4 calories a gram in carbs and protein and 9 calories in a gram of fats. But we burn through carbs faster, so you're going to be eating more frequently. So you'll be less satisfied, and you're going to be like, I need another meal on high carb days. So that's why we have low fats, because if you're eating a lot more food more frequently and you're having those fats that are higher in calories, your calories could just get too high. So keep the fats lower. So I try not to have avocados on high carb days. I try not to have a ton of butter or cheese. Like, you know, if I have on low carb day, I might order a burger with cheese, with no bun, but then on my high carb day, I would not have the cheese. You know, I just kind of watch it so I'm not adding a ton of fats on my high carb days, because the calories, like I said, are higher. So like I said, number 2, your high carb days should be a bump in calories. That's totally fine and normal. This helps keep your body guessing that higher calorie and a little bit lower and the higher and lower, and your body's just got to be on point to burn through that. Try to schedule your carbs, like a good carb post-workout. So, you know, that's a good time to have a banana. Maybe if you have a protein shake post-workout, add half a banana to it. Maybe a rice cake with a little peanut butter. You know, some berries. Just try to have some carbs post-workout, because your body will burn through them. And again, eat when you're hungry and eat until you're satisfied. So here are some sample meals. I gave you 2 sample meals with each. Don't obsess over these. These are just examples. And honestly, you guys, you're going to get good at figuring out the meals. I think somebody is unmuted. I got some feedback. You're going to get really good at figuring out the meals. I'm going to share pictures with you of my own, of my own meals. I've actually got a link that I'll post to a Google Drive with a bunch of pictures for high carb and low carb and some other things in there. And I'll have days where you guys share what you're eating, so you'll get good ideas. But if you're overwhelmed on what your meal plan should look like, stick to this, or just keep it super simple for the first few days. You know that on a low carb day, you need a protein with each meal. You want to get a veggie with each meal and a healthy fat. You know, protein, eggs, veggie, tomatoes, healthy fat, avocado. Boom, that's your first meal. You know, just keep it super simple. So a veggie, a protein, and then either a carb or a fat. So it's really pretty simple. Let's keep going through this manual. Okay, so I put my cookbook recipe is actually linked in here, and let me back up. My cookbook recipe, that doesn't make sense. The link to my cookbook is right here. I think it lets you click it. If not, it's also, I put it in the Facebook group. So this is just a Kindle download. My friend and I created it just as a resource for our clients because they're recipes we use all the time. They're super simple recipes, and they're really good, and they go with this really well. So here on this page, I've listed the recipes in that cookbook that are high carb that you can use on high carb days, and the recipes that are good for low carb days. So right now, it's just a download you get to your phone or your device through the Kindle app. So the Kindle app is free. You just download it, and then you can cook from it on your device. I'm going to have a hard copy coming out in the next week or so if you prefer that. And that actually will come with a digital download option, so you can download it and print it. But as it is now, you can't print from it. It's just to your device. Okay, and then, that needs edited, doesn't it? Went back up. Okay, then the flex day, and we'll talk more about flex day before it gets here, but I usually put it on Friday night because I love to go on dates on Friday. It's my favorite, my favorite day to put a flex day, but you guys put the flex day wherever it works for you. So if you have an event on Thursday that you don't want to worry about, or, whatever, you put the flex day where it works for you. Here's the general schedule: low carb, high fat, high carb, low fat, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, until you get to your flex day, wherever it is, and then you go back to low carb day, okay? Let's see. Here are some things to keep in mind. Over the next 3 weeks, I'd really love for you to only drink water for 6 days a week, or coffee, water and coffee, water and coffee. I definitely drink coffee. I also like LaCroix, and I count that as water. But try not to drink milk. Let's get rid of the pop. Pop is not helping anyone here. Save it for your flex day if you need a pop. But yeah, get rid of the juices and the sports drinks and all that stuff. Just water, coffee or tea, and then whatever you want on your flex day. I'd love for you to have no alcohol on any day except for your flex day as well. That will just help you do better. It'll help clean you out. It'll help you feel better. It'll help give you an accurate view and feeling of how this program works for you. If you're drinking all, throughout, it's just, you're not going to get the same amount of results. Follow a workout plan for optimal results. So, and I don't think I talked about your high carb day workouts. So on high carb days, that's when you want to do a full body workout, a longer run, a longer cycle. Leg day is great on high carb day. So if you're doing this program without a workout routine, you will still see results and you will still feel really great. But to make the most of this, adding exercise is really best. So let me know if you need help with that. When you guys are done with a round, you have the opportunity to join my VIP membership. And in that membership, you get the daily accountability that you'll get here, but you also get my workouts, and there are new workouts every month. So that's something you might consider for November. Okay, eat when you're hungry and eat until you're satisfied. You're not cutting calories. We're actually going to gain some, I believe. Choose an eating schedule that works for you. So this, all the old, research about you need to eat right when you get up, and then you need to eat 2 hours later and 2 hours after that. Like, that is all just a bunch of hooey. So you just eat when you're hungry. And in fact, if you don't like eating breakfast, you're going to love intermittent fasting, because you don't have to eat breakfast with intermittent fasting. And if you love breakfast, but dinner is kind of a pain for you to squeeze in, you don't have to eat dinner. And we'll talk more about that next week. But just eat on the schedule that works for you. If you have a job where you can't take a lot of breaks during the day, then focus on your 3 large meals. And if you have, if you're at home like I am and you can snack all day and you like that, then do that. Have fun and get creative. There's no need to eat broccoli and chicken every night of the week unless you really love that meal. I'll share recipes. Like I said, this is not meant to be boring or restrictive. It's really meant to be easy and just fit into your life in an easy, simple way. So, okay, we talked about working out. We talked about, okay. I want to go over your check-in system, but this light is driving me crazy. So let me just pull this down. So sorry. Okay, that's way better. Okay, so your check-in system, and I'll post this tomorrow, is an important part of the program. So checking in is where that's that accountability piece that needs to be there, in my opinion, for anyone to be really successful at establishing a new routine, a new health and fitness routine. That daily check-in is just so key. And that actually leads me to why this program is only 3 weeks. It's not because I think you only need 3 weeks to get good at it. It's because people get tired of checking in after 3 weeks. So it's just logistics. I've run groups that are much longer and people just always fall off. And then, it's like pulling teeth to get check-ins, and that's not fun. So we set it up. It's a 3-week program. I want to see you there every day. I want you to check in every single day, even on days when you do terrible. It doesn't matter. It's about getting in there and being connected. And the more you cheer each other on and connect to each other, the more invested you'll be. And the more invested you'll be, the more successful you'll be. So don't be shy and get in there, even on Friday nights when you're out or Saturday when you're busy. Check in every day and you'll get the most out of this. But your check-in system will be from 3 out of 3 points for the first week, and then we'll add intermittent fasting on the second. So 1 point is for drinking at least 70 ounces of water. So 70 ounces of water. It's a lot of water, but it's less than I used to have people drink because I don't really think we need a lot more than that. Okay, so 70 ounces of water. That's like 3 big water bottles, 3-ish water bottles. You guys can do that. Number 2 is forgetting your workout for the day. So you're not going to get that one every day. You shouldn't get that one every day. You need some rest days in there. At least one rest day a week, at least one. And then the third point is for staying on plan. So if it was a low carb day, did you eat low carb? Did you eat the right foods? Did you or did you have a handful of M&Ms? If you had a handful of M&Ms, you don't get the point unless it was a flex day. Okay. So that's just the simple check-in system. And again, I'll post that tomorrow so that you'll have it. You'll get really good at it and really familiar with it. Okay. So just to wrap up before I open it up for questions, next weekend, we'll talk about intermittent fasting. It's super simple. We'll add it in. And I'll show you how to do it. This week is just we're focusing on what we're eating. We're focusing on the check-in system and just getting into a groove. It might feel awkward this first week, but by next week, you'll be feeling really good and kind of like, oh, I got this. So let it feel awkward, and that's okay. Just work through it. Use the group to post questions and help each other out. And of course, I'll be in there as well. One more thing before I open it up. So what you can expect from me, I'll be in the group at least 2 times every day, looking for questions, responding to questions, looking at your check-ins. I'll post something in the morning for you to read over every single morning. So you'll see me there in the group, but I am not in the group all day, every day. So, if you've got a question, post it there. You can send me a private message, but I am not on auto respond like right away. So it's really best to post it in the group so that everybody can see it and I can respond there when I get back in the group. But I promise I will answer you. It's just, a matter of what time I'm in the group for the day. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead. If you have a question, go ahead and unmute yourself. You can use the chat tool. You can raise your hand and let me know what questions you have. Nobody? I'm amazed. Palma?
Hi, Katie.
Hi.
Hi. You know what? Can you just give me some examples of what a good high carb food is? So is that like certain vegetables are high carb? Like I don't want to eat like white bread, obviously. So what would be good ones?
So like adding quinoa to your salad, that would be a good high carb lunch. Adding sweet potato, like for dinner, doing a steak or chicken breast with a sweet potato, that'd be really good. You could do like a chicken wild rice soup, something, the rice, that would be good. I had one in my mind. I lost it. It was from my cookbook. Something with oats, like oatmeal, overnight oats, that kind of thing.
Okay, that was great.
Okay, good. You guys, everybody's different, but I love finding out which type of eater is easier for you. A lot of my clients find it easier to eat low carb than high carb. So we'll see. You'll just have to see and you'll play with it. And you'll add that to your study of 1, 2. Okay, Amra, I see that you have a hand up. So you're unmuted. Oh, no. Now you're unmuted, Amra. Do you want to speak?
Hi, I'm not sure. I missed the first part of the meeting. I'm not sure if you addressed it, but how often should we weigh ourselves?
That's a great question. Thank you for reminding me. I want you to weigh yourself today and then don't weigh yourself again until the end. I just had a client message me. She's been a client for years. I think 2 or 3 years. And she said, Kate, she's in my VIP group. And she said, Katie, I just was feeling so frustrated. My weight was up a few pounds. I didn't understand it. And then I went in and I had my body fat tested and I'm actually down 3% body fat, even though I'm up 3 or 4 pounds or whatever it was. It's muscle. She's putting on muscle. And so that I just loved that she messaged me that. And she said, I need to get rid of the scale. I said, yes, get rid of it. That stupid scale just doesn't do anybody any good. Weigh yourself take your measurements with the measuring tape. That's really, really helpful because you can see, you'll lose inches even if your weight goes up. If you're putting on lean muscle mass. But also, for those of you that are in the Champaign area, head to 5 Star Nutrition. It's in Champaign. I have a partnership with them, and so they give all of my clients 25% off everything in the store if you say my name. But also, they have this scale you can use for free. It's amazing. It's called the InBody Scale, and it tests your body fat. And so what's really nice is you can go get your body fat tested now and then get it tested in 3 weeks and see your progress. But if you don't live here, a local gym might have one, or the YMCA or something. But yes, that's a good question. Sorry for the long answer. I just feel really strongly about the scale. So weigh yourself now, and then please don't hop on the scale in a week and message me and say I haven't lost any weight. I'll say sorry. That is not a good way to tell how you're doing. Okay, any other questions? All right, you guys, I hope that this was helpful. This is, a really exciting time actually to join a program. I love working with people at this part of the year because so many people are like, forget it, I'm just going to give up. I'm not going to worry about it until the new year. And I think that's a mistake. And you guys have decided to, jump in and try to focus now so that you can be confident going into the holidays and that harder time, and knowing that you can own your choices and that you can keep your progress up. So I'm proud of you for already making that decision. It's going to be a great 3 weeks. And I'm excited to see you in the group. So I'll see you in the morning in the Facebook community group. Thanks for being on tonight. Bye guys. Have a good day.